My dear compatriot, Cameroonian women and men, today it is with deep emotion and immense pride that I address you. Together, we have written history. Throughout this campaign, I saw a Cameroon standing tall. I saw women, men, youth, and elders braving threats, facing intimidation, yet remaining mobilized.
Is Isaa Tchiroma Bakari declaring himself the winner? And as we go through this speech, I want to ask you a very fundamental question. What is the impulse that drives you to desire change? Is it good roads? Is it good schools, good jobs? What is that impulse? And this reminds me of a story in Nigeria. Boko Haram kidnapped the peoples. They were ransomed, and upon their release, they were asked to denounce their fate. Each and every one of them denounced their fate, except this young lady, a 14-year-old girl, Leah Sharibu, and she remained in their custody. And that becomes the question, what is that impulse that drives us to desire change? And I want to ask our Francophone brothers and Cameroonians, how would you feel if Isaa Tchiroma Bakari is defrauded of this election? And they tell you, oh, you are l'ennemi dans la maison, you are Biafra, you just want to destabilize the country. If you are told that Paul Biya won this election, how will you feel? Because this is exactly how Anglophones have been feeling in this country for the past 64 years and counting. There is news in the air that Isaa Tchiroma Bakari has left the country. We don't know. But my people, the fundamental principle that governs democracy is truth, liberty, equality, and fraternity. And every government is out to protect this right, including self-determination. That every human is endowed with certain gifts by their creator, and among which is life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. Any government that cannot protect these fundamental rights, understand the people in their plight to pursue these rights, is not fit to govern those people. We will go ahead and listen to this speech extensively and dive deep and analyze every aspect of the speech, because Cameroon is about to go up in flames if things are not done the right way. Pay attention to every minute of this video. Share with your friends and relatives, because this is the only way that we will escape the chaos that I see in the horizon.
I saw voters keeping watch in polling station until the end of the night, protecting their voices, defending the truth of the ballot box. This courage, this determination will forever remain engraved in the memory of our nation. First, I want to say thank you to the Cameroonian people. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for believing in change. Thank you to all who voted.
I want to draw the attention of every Cameroonian, both home and abroad, the same victory that you seek, render that to others. The same freedom that you desire, give that to others. Render unto others what you desire to be rendered unto you. We are dealing with a spiritual and political schizophrenia, my people. We adopted Western systems without Western coherence, and hence we lost our soul in the process. And if there's anything Isaa Tchiroma will do during his presidency, if Cameroon will make progress, this is time to face the truth that this country has buried for decades. We will go through the entire speech and listen to it, but I want you to internalize this message so we can face reality and lay a solid foundation for sustainable change in West and Central Africa. We adopted Western systems without Western coherence. There is no union treaty between La République du Cameroon and Southern Cameroons. Every Cameroonian, hear me well. If you want truth, peace, and prosperity in your land, this is time for us black people to sit down and have conversations, get to solutions without needing the interference of Western nations. We are the cradle of human civilization for a purpose. And this is time for us to reclaim that power that we lost. Amadou Ahidjo laid a deceptive foundation during the formative years of this country. I believed in one Cameroon like everyone else because I was born and raised in this ideology. What existed initially in Cameroon was an interim federal system of government, not a ratified, certified federal system of government. I know Isaa Tchiroma's idea is that we go back to a federation that never existed. Just look at the linguistic tension in this country. If we will make significant progress, how long will it take us to even translate from French to English to make progress in a post-colonial country? Because some would like to point to Canada, but how long will it take us? See the stress that Isaa Tchiroma himself goes through, speaking in English and French to hold a nation together, stitched by colonial masters. If we want rapid progress, then let those of the Tikar land go, northwest. We have 17,300 square kilometers of land, 24 times the size of Singapore. That is how huge we are. The Europeans came and called us tribes. But these are kingdoms and civilizations. The same freedom you desire, Cameroonians collectively give that to others. For 9 years, we've bled, thousands of people have died. And if this country will make progress, it's time for us to look into how this country was created in the first place and not trying to push things with an illusion of peace, an illusion of change that is not realistic, because we are afraid to face the truth. It had to dawn on me, not through politicians, but interacting with the citizens of this country and getting to the place where I realized the incompatibility. For progress to happen, there must be compatibility. How many percent of Anglophones speak English and French? Our cultures are not in alignment. And this is very, very integral to development. Isaa Tchiroma Bakari and the rest of Cameroonians. You want change right now. Look at what is going on around the world. Cameroonians genuinely want change. Give unto others the same change that you desire. Give unto others the same freedom that you desire. If not, this problem will resurface. Even if we go back to a federal system of government that did not exist, because the union in this country was never ratified, and the incompatibility are evident, and we are going nowhere trying to blend a post-colonial country that speaks English and French. And if there's anything Isaa Tchiroma Bakari will achieve during his presidency, or Cameroonians collectively will achieve, let the people of the Northwest go. We'll come up with economic systems that will benefit each other as neighbors. We'll be able to exchange programs. We'll trade among one another. And this is what happened when Adam Smith wrote a letter to King George, cautioning him to let the Americans go. That you will reduce your administrative cost and you will benefit through trade in the long run. And today, Britain is benefiting immensely through that relationship with America. This is time to face the truth about how this country was created. I've scanned the UN archives with my team. There is no ratified document binding La République du Cameroun and Southern Cameroons. Let's keep listening, but I want you to have perspective as we make progress. That we have to gain back our soul as black people. There is a difference between adaptation and erosion.
And to all who protected their vote, you are the true heroes of this victory. My gratitude also goes to all the men and women who fought this battle before me. Without your work, we would not be here today. For this, I say thank you. I also thank the candidates who have already sent me their congratulations and recognize the will of the people. Their gesture honors our democracy and marks the beginning of a new era where the unity of the opposition and the civil society becomes an irreversible force. I want to say it with gravity and simplicity. The people have chosen, and this choice must be respected. I call on all institutions, all administrative authorities, all officials, not to make themselves enemy of the people they are meant to serve. The time of fear, manipulation, and false calculation is over. The only camp that matters today is that of Cameroon. To our defense and security forces, I pay tribute to your loyalty. I call on you to remain on the side of the Republic and of the people. Do not let anyone divert you from your sacred mission to protect the people, not a regime.
That is a great point he just outlined, that every government official, you are in government to uphold the constitution, serve the people and not a regime. And if there is anything, Minister Isaa Tchiroma, if you are sworn in as president, is to correct the ills that Ayijo started in your lifetime. This will give peace to Cameroon, long-lasting peace. Because our ancestors are awake and they will not rest until we have a place that we can call home. For those who are asking about the Tikar people, this is what slavery, slave trade, and colonialism can condition a people into for centuries. We migrated from North Sudan to the Adamawas to Bafia. And then from there, Ngonso and Charien migrated to the Bamenda Highlands. Charien went on to found Bamu. So the West region and the Northwest are really brothers by blood. When you look at our cultures and traditions, they are identical because we come from one family. The goal of our founding fathers was not to build tribes, but to build nations. Northwest is 17,300 square kilometers of land, 24 times the size of Singapore. They went over and started a nation. Almost all the tribes that you see today in the Northwest, the white man call you tribes, but this is a nation. We had systems of government, cultures, strong traditions and kingdoms. Every tribe migrated and created their own civilization, created their own kingdoms. But we come from one family tree. Colonialism stitched incompatible people together because the white man wanted to extract raw materials and free labor. That is how this Cameroon was created. There are 4 distinct nations stitched together to create Cameroon. We have the North, we have the Highlands, we have the coastal, and we have the East and Central. These are 4 distinct civilizations, incompatible people, and hence tribalism that we see in this country. Clement Atangana, the individual that would declare the results, was installed in that position by Paul Biya. Tribalism. This is time for us black people to face the truth about our conditions, about our history, and be able to make adjustments that will last for generations to come. Slave rates through the coastal people destroyed our civilization in the Tikar land. We dealt in iron work, we dealt in trade and agriculture. Look at our kingdoms and the structures, our artifacts. These are all emblems we brought with us from North Sudan. They are still evident today. We are descendants of black pharaohs that ruled Egypt. This is how rich and dynamic our system is. If we were allowed, like China or Japan, to evolve naturally, we would have adapted our cultures and our traditions to modern institutions. And this is time to make that correction. The few Anglophones that are running around this system, we've all lost our soul. We've forgotten who we are. China has adapted itself to modern institutions without destroying their soul. Japan adapted to the industrial revolution and industrial process or industrial civilizations without destroying their soul. The ceremonial order is still intact in Japan. The Confucian order is still intact in China. And that is why we see them making progress. We cannot go on with this artificial colonial borders and tax and pray and hope that God blesses us and our ancestors bless us. They are watching from above with the hope that we do the right thing now. If President Paul Biya defrauds Isaa Tchiroma Bakari of this election, this is time for every Cameroonian to rise up and let's bring about true change, because power will always reside with the people. And let's do the right thing. It will change how the world perceives black people, not only Cameroonians, forever. For over 553 years, our people were stolen, our institutions and traditions were corrupted and destroyed through colonialism. This is 2025. After understanding what is going on with us, let's do the right thing. They will tell you that Africa is too small because of how Africa is shaped on the map of the world. Given the population density of Singapore, more than 252 billion people can fit in Africa. Do you understand? That is how huge we are. The entire world can fit in Africa. That is, you can take every human on earth and fit in Africa, and there will still be space for people. They've made us to think that we are too small. Again, let me repeat. The Northwest, the Tikar people, are 24 times, that geographical location is 24 times the size of Singapore. And Lee Kuan Yew took that nation from a third world nation to a first world nation within a generation. That is what happens when people are able to speak one language, understand who they are died into the soul of their people. They make progress rapidly. There is enormous creativity to be utilized from the people in this geographical location, that we can benefit each other if we step back and address these issues. If not, it will be the emergence of another system that will marginalize others no matter how hard you try. Colonial politics without an African soul leads to dictatorship and autocracy. Look at what is happening in Madagascar right now. The people just kicked out the leader, and the army joined the people. What Isaa Tchiroma just shared in this video should go across the entire nation and to the military as well. The hunger of change in every Cameroonian should lead to a long-lasting solution that blesses our people for generations to come. And if things are done the right way, this won't result to bloodshed and thousands of people losing their lives. But if we continue with this idea of one Cameroon, go back to federation that never existed, I bet you we have worse days ahead. Worse days ahead. But let's keep listening to the speech. But this is our story. Every tribe that you see in the Northwest, we are descendants of Tikar. Except the Chambers people that joined us around the 1700s. But they are part of us now, including the Fulanese around Cambe and they are part of us now. We are building an all-inclusive English-speaking society. You don't have to stress translating from English to French back and forth for the people to understand, for change to take place in a post-colonial country. This all by itself is stress, enormous stress that hinders development, coupled with the incompatibility factor. This is an assessment, not just interacting with the elite in this country, but with the people as well. If these adjustments are made, we will make progress, partner, do business. We will use even the Douala airport, the Douala seaport, while we build our country. And we will work as a team and benefit each other through education, through exchange programs, through trade, through science and technology. And we will make progress really fast in the next 20 years. If there is anything, Isaa Tchiroma Bakari, this is something we should pursue. And you lay this foundation to correct the ills of Ayijo and make sure that you listen to the people of the Anglophone zone and not come on the table with a premeditated idea on how you want that dialogue to look like. Because the end result is going to be dictatorship and autocracy. And there is no way for us to live in a system like this and make progress. This fight will resurface. Let the people of the Northwest, the Tikar land, go. If you do that, there will be peace in this country. If you do that, there will be peace in Cameroon. If you do that, your people will experience long-lasting prosperity and progress in this region. Let's keep listening.
To the youth of Cameroon, I say, the future belongs to you. To our teachers, our workers, our farmers, our soldiers, our journalists, our diaspora, I repeat, you stood firm and you won. Together, we will turn the page. Together, we will reconcile our nation, rebuild our institution, and open the path to a just, dignified, and fraternal future. In the coming days, I will share with you a detailed report of your vote by region as compiled from the result publicly posted in accordance with Article 113 of the Electoral Code in polling stations across the countries and the diaspora. These results deeply moved me. They show that this victory goes beyond my person. It is a clear sanction of the regime in place and a plebiscite in favor of immediate change because the victory is overwhelming.
And I want to ask every Cameroonian, how will you feel at this critical point if Isaa Tchiroma Bakari is defrauded of this election, or he is not listened to by the current regime? Sad, right? That is exactly how the people of the Anglophone zone, the Tikar people, have been feeling for the past 64 years in this country. And the only way you can feel the pain in someone else's shoes is to take off your own shoes. So I want this to sink in you. Imagine Isaa Tchiroma is defrauded of this election and the military steps up to quell down any rebellion in this country. This is exactly how the people in the Anglophone zone, the Tikar people, have been feeling in this country. And this is time for us to rise up and do the right thing. Amadou Ahidjo never ratified a union treaty between the Anglophones and the Francophones because he had an agenda to consolidate power, assimilate the Anglophones, and eradicate every institution in our own part of the country. And if you look at English globally today, this language is the business and diplomatic language of the world. So if we are led to thrive, build our own institutions, this is the enormous help that we will bring to this area. As of now, there is no black man that will handle the complexities of post-colonial Cameroon that speaks English and French. The few Anglophones that speak French and the few Francophones that speak English will not cut it. The best approach to true transformation should be bottom-top, not top-bottom. Leadership is critical, but if I'm sending out the message, the grandmother in Furawa should be able to understand what I'm saying. The young man in Kambe should be able to take action based on what I'm saying. So let the people of the Northwest, the Tikar land, go. This will bring peace in this country. The reason why your visit triggered controversies around the country when you came to Bamenda is a classic evidence that our gods are awake. Let's not just adapt Western systems and Western values while losing our soul in the process. Now, there is something I'll read to Isaa Tchiroma, the future president of Cameroon and Cameroonians in general. The same thing you want is the same thing I want. The same thing you want is the same thing everyone else wants. Fair? To the current president and leadership of Cameroon, we say this with respect and clarity. The time has come to let the Tikar people fulfill their destiny. Holding a people hostage within artificial borders does not strengthen a nation. It weakens the moral foundation upon which true peace stands. We are not living to divide. We are rising to heal, to show West and Central Africa what a civilization rooted in justice, productivity, and balance can become when its natural evolution is restored. When a seed is uprooted before it grows, the world never knows the forest it was meant to become. I want to repeat. When a seed is uprooted before it grows, the world never knows the forest it was meant to become. The Tikar people were that seed, but our roots still breathe beneath the soil. The restoration of the Tikar civilization is not a threat to Cameroon. It is a blessing to the region. It will reconnect West and Central Africa to the moral, economic, and cultural renaissance it desperately needs right now. A renaissance built not on rebellion, but on rebirth. That is the vision of the United Kingdoms of Tikar. The goal is that we establish a nation rooted in our identity while adapting to modern systems, institutions, and technology that benefits everyone in West and Central Africa. A people that speak one language. A people that are compatible. A people that understands each other will make significant progress rapidly compared to being stitched within artificial borders. There is no legal union treaty after scanning the entire UN archives binding La République du Cameroon and Southern Cameroons. This is what our founding fathers, our leaders, have written books. Some are in exile, some are in prison, some are dead, because they want us to have a place that we can call our own. This is 3,000 to 4,000 years of history of the Tikar people migrating from Sudan to Adamawa to Bam and to the Highlands to build a country for their people. Our ancestors are awake, and we believe that we are a continuation. The book did not start with us. This restoration is a continuation of our ancestral heritage. And this is how Ireland got their independence and established a nation that is thriving. Israel reclaimed that land and is building a thriving nation based on the same foundation. Eritrea and many other nations in the world followed a similar path. The Tikar people, the United Kingdoms of Tikar, Northwest, we have 17,300 square kilometers of land. We are 24 times the size of Singapore. We are larger than 40 UN recognized nations. If you stitch the 5 smallest nations in Europe, we are larger than those nations combined. If you stitch the 5 smallest nations in Asia, we are larger than those nations combined, Northwest alone. You have been conditioned to think that you are small, that you are insignificant, and yet you rage from within. Because our ancestors expect more from us. They expect more from us. And they will never rest until we rise up to become who they wanted us to be. We have forgotten who we are. And this is what happens to a people that go through slavery and colonialism. It's like the children of Israel in Egypt. After 400 years, and Moses emerges and reminds them that this is who you are. Your predecessors were Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, who came here, became the governor. A king rose up and forgot who Joseph was and enslaved their people. Now let's come out and go back to who we were. Many were confused. There were Egyptians that followed the Israelites out of Egypt because they stood with truth and not convenience. They stood with truth and not politics. There were other groups that followed the Israelites out of Egypt. We've forgotten who we are. We have forgotten who we were. And this is what we are dealing with, my people. What is this all about? It is about a civilization violently interrupted in its natural course of development. This is exactly what happened to us. When things really fall apart, it is not because tradition resisted change, but because change came from outside, uprooting the roots of self-discovery. And this is what dawned on me in my course of studies and spending time with our ancestors. We've forgotten who we are, but this is our story. Tikar people, your ancestors migrated from Sudan carrying the sacred stool upon which a leader sits and presides over the people. We had the Quiphons, the Malfor. We knew the supreme God, Si, Mui, before the Europeans brought this version of God that we embody today, which is amazing all by itself. But while we adapt, we don't forget who we are. That is what the Chinese did. That is what the Japanese did. And that is why they can make progress without losing their soul. And this is the foundation we are laying for future generations to come. And we will get the blessings of our ancestors. The spirits of our ancestors are slowly departing from us. A people without a memory are lost. If your history started at the Berlin Conference, or when slavery and slave trade happened to us, you're lost. Israel have a mastery of at least 5,000 years of their history. 5,000 years. That is why they are rooted in who they are. China has 5,000 years of their history. That is why adapting to modern technology, they can make progress significantly because their ancestors is with them. Our founding fathers are Europeans. Most of our leaders tag along. They were facilitators and not pioneers. So Isaa Tchiroma, the people of Cameroon, end with this. The peace that you desire, the justice that you desire, the fairness that you desire, render that to others. The desire to be heard by a regime that has held all of us bound. The same freedom that you desire from that regime, render that same freedom for long-lasting peace to reign over your people. History is waiting for us. Our ancestors are waiting for us to do the right thing now. To the armies and security forces in Cameroon, do not let yourself be controlled by people who don't have a soul. Machine men with machine hearts that are bent on maintaining the status quo. You have families. You have children. You have wives. Do not let yourself be controlled by machine men with machine hearts that don't have a soul. This is time to stand on the side of justice. And this is the time to stand on the side of truth. If the Constitution was written unfairly, we can unanimously rewrite that Constitution. Do the right thing and make progress significantly. Our drive at this moment should be towards progress, towards economic development, even while we use politics as an instrument. We should measure every progress in this country based on economic productivity. Every aspect of this nation moving forward should be measured towards productivity and economic progress. If productivity is low, let us rewrite that constitution to accommodate productivity, to accommodate progress, harmony, and peace. We are here not to maintain the status quo, but to change the world and make it better. To change the people living in this geographical location and leave something better for our children and our children's children. That is why we are here. Nothing else and nothing less. And if any system, policy restricts growth, let us change that policy, let us change that system, let us change it.